Welcome back to Jefferson's Podcast. Today is Friday, February the 20th. We're back to the podcast.
We're back. It's the both of us. That's been a minute. It's been a couple weeks now. We haven't done a pod together since pre-Super Bowl. So it's been a couple weeks. So glad we have both of us back here. Honestly, there's not a ton of like it's funny because I want to feel like, oh, this is the off season, not a lot of stuff going on. But the combine's next week, and then we have the draft for the NFL is in 2 months.
Yeah,
it's in April.
I believe 20th.
In Pittsburgh. And then again, I have to know where it is because might have to bomb it depending on how things want to go there.
You asked me if I wanted to go to that shit.
I know. I know you don't.
No.
You've made that very clear. You don't want to go to Pittsburgh. I get it.
If it was in Philadelphia, I would win.
You know there's going to end up being one in Indiana at some point too, right? It's also another option. We haven't been there. Well, we have been there actually. But okay, of that, some NBA, one NBA topic I really wanted to talk about. NFL. I have one big idea for the NFL, and then we have a couple different news stories in the NFL. And then I have, do you want to start this series? This is me asking you now. Do you want to start a series of grading the season for every grading this past season for every NFL team? Yeah. And we'll do it by division. So okay. You can do the AFC South and just grade how their season went and how they're going, and maybe not grading the season, but grading where the confidence would be coming off the season and then now going into the off season. If that makes sense. I feel like that'd be a good thing to do because you can kind of segment it out. It'll be a little segment on each show for a while to kind of give us a little bit of content to constantly on every podcast that we do, even with us only doing one per week for a little bit until the NFL starts ramping back up and we'll have a lot more to talk about. Because, like it or not, we're not the biggest NBA type of podcast. So, as much as we like baseball, we're not as locked in on it enough to, make whole podcasts about it. So, NFL is really where our bread is buttered, and we kind of stick to it. And as things start revving up, we'll rev up as well when it comes to the amount of content we put out and all of that. So, but that's all I got. So, without further ado, let's kind of get into the things I wanted to talk about today. Did you hear this? Not being sports just yet. Did you hear that Nintendo is releasing FireRed and LeafGreen on the Switch? Straight up, you can buy FireRed or LeafGreen and play it on your Switch on, I think it's February 27th.
Switch or Switch 2?
Both. Straight up. You could just buy it, and you want to guess how much you have to pay for it?
40.
30. You don't get both games, though. You have to buy them each separately. And they did make upgrades to where you can get all of the legendaries and stuff without having to do anything special.
Okay. Am I just getting a port? It's the same game?
It's the exact same game.
Okay, updated graphics?
No.
It's just the same game?
The exact same game.
You want me to pay $30?
If you were trying to buy that game for your analog pocket, you'd be paying a lot more than that. And you wouldn't be able to play it on your TV or on your monitor or anything like that.
What? Wait. Whoa. That's wrong.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, you can buy the base for your analog pocket and do it. Yes.
I have FireRed.
Yeah, I have it on my phone too, yeah.
No! For the analog pocket.
Yeah, but you pay like $50 for it.
No!
How much did you pay?
It was the one with the bad battery that I paid $25 for, then got the battery fixed for free? Okay, so you want me to pay $30 for a game I've played
countless times. Yeah.
Christ.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
In different forms.
Yep, my phone. I don't have it on the analog pocket, so that I kind of miss out on.
You have yellow, which is
no, yellow has the bad battery. I can't even do it.
But again, you've played this game.
I have plenty of times. Game. But on the Switch too would be. I
understand, but isn't it the same thing as Pokemon? Let's Go.
No,
it's the same shit.
It's not the same. Pokemon Let's Go, they tried to upgrade the graphics and make it for little children to where it's like, oh, throw the Pokeball. I don't want to do any of that shit. I just want to go ahead and just play Pokemon.
51 Pokemon we've seen.
I wouldn't buy both of them. I'd buy probably FireRed, and then I'd play it. It'd be fun on my Switch.
I would have preferred if it was just Pokemon Yellow.
But imagine if I could use a Pro Controller on that shit. It'd be so awesome. It'd be so comfortable.
Okay, a Pro Controller for what? It's 4-directional.
Uh-huh.
They're not going to update them, so you're going to use the D-pad? You're going to have to.
Yeah, but still, a physical D-pad on my Pro Controller is a lot better than what I'd be using otherwise.
Or we could just go out to one of the retro stores, buy you LeafGreen, and you can play it on the landline.
That is also an option too, but you'd probably be paying more than $30.
I'm not thinking of, dude. But that's the thing, is that's literally just the game. At least you own it.
That is true. Yes. And again, it's not through like getting like the expansion pack or anything like that. You'd just be buying the game straight up for $30. So it's not like if you like stop paying for the online, then you don't have the game anymore. You still buy it. You don't technically own it because it's digital, but
again, that's cool. I would have preferred like a fucking remaster of it, like they did with Diamond and Pearl.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
Which they're not from the same. I think Diamond and Pearl came out the same time as Emerald, Ruby and Sapphire.
Yeah.
No, LeafGreen and FireRed came out at the same time as Ruby and Sapphire.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were LeafGreen and FireRed are fucking remasters.
Yeah.
So they're okay. My bad.
Oh, FireRed and LeafGreen.
So Nintendo has just found an infinite money glitch of let's just keep remastering this game. We've already remastered these games once. Let's remaster them again.
Well, they're not remastering.
But not remaster anything. Just sell the same game we already
and then give you
sold.
access to some legendary Pokemon. Pretty much all it is, yes. But again, being able to play on my Switch is actually kind of nice. I like the idea of it. I'm gonna buy one of them. It is what it is. It's only $30, bro. You can spend $30 on some food for a night.
You know what I could do with $30 right now, bro? Can't even talk about it. It's only $30. Go fuck yourself.
All right. I thought you'd be a lot more happy about the idea of it.
My nigga, no. I don't want to give Nintendo any more money.
Okay, so next thing, if we want to get off of that. Toy Story.
Oh my fuck. There's another one.
I have not watched a full Toy Story movie since Toy Story 2. When's the last full Toy Story movie you've watched?
I've seen 3.
Okay, I might have seen 3, but I'm not sure if I've watched it all the way through. So Toy Story 5, trailer came out for it recently. And it's for a more, obviously, for younger kids now, right? If you had a toy, if you were the toys that come alive and they were battling for a child's love and affection.
It's a tablet. Yeah.
They're going against a fucking tablet with eyes. Think about a fire tablet with eyes.
It's they make it seem like one of the frog ones. The leap pads. That's what they were.
Exactly what it looks like. Yes.
And I'm like, that's a fire concept.
It was a cool concept. I looked at it right away and I'm like, I actually want to watch this movie because it's so relatable.
I have not seen Toy Story 4. I've seen 3. I've seen 1 through 3.
Apparently, all of them are good. Like all of them are critically acclaimed. Like everybody loves them.
Let's see. Toy Story 1 and 2 are both in the top 200 movies of all time on Rotten Tomatoes. I remember us going through that list. Crazy list.
All of them have really good critic scores. Fans love them. So again, maybe I need to go back and watch all of them.
It's rare that there's 5 of anything. And they're all pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
Like there's no diminishing quality. In all honesty, they get better. The storylines get better. They're toys. So like you don't have to worry about like, oh, that doesn't really make sense. It's a toy. Anything makes sense.
But the craziest part about that trailer was that Woody, they talk about the fact that he's old is by giving him a fucking bald spot.
I thought it was funny.
It was fucking
I was
awesome.
looking at that. I was like, that's hilarious. He took off the hat, he had a bald spot. I was like, oh, my boy. I heard somebody else. He's a brown shirt. I'm like, oh, it's crazy. How you going to roast my boy?
They did him so dirty, but it was so funny.
No, it was
so
good.
like they're even talking about the fact that the toys are getting older too.
Because they also want to make another Cars movie. And everybody's biggest thing is how? Your character is Lightning McQueen, and in the last movie you retired him.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
What else is there?
Yeah. But I don't know. I love Cars. It's probably one of the reasons why I like Cars.
But yeah, so I had those two things I wanted to talk about. I was like, okay, those are some really cool things. Braylon hasn't watched any Toy Story movie all the way through.
That's wrong.
We've done terrible as older siblings by not making him watch at least one of them.
He has not seen at least one. There's no way.
He has said he has not watched any Toy Story movie all the way through.
That's not true.
He could be lying. He is 16, but
Maybe not lying, but maybe not in his
15,
memory.
15, 16. I don't remember anymore. 2009. It's 2026 now. So he's not 20. He's not 16 yet.
I think he's 16.
He's not 16 yet.
I think he's 16.
Is it 16? 2009.
I'm 22. He's 6 years younger than me.
Oh, okay, there we go. That's 16. All right, fine.
Yeah, he turned 16 right before I turned 22.
Okay, there we go.
That is a bad thing that we took so long to figure that out.
Math is.
How old is her sister? 25.
He's 20. She's 25. Yeah.
Going on 26.
Yeah.
Why do we know that?
Because I have an easier way of doing that because she's 4 years younger than me.
Yeah, but there's no viable reason why we should know how old he is. How old's our nephew?
6.
It's
But again,
crazy.
he's a single age. It's a lot easier.
What do you've known him all
Single
your
numbered
life.
age.
All your life you've known him.
Yeah.
How old were you when he was born?
How old was I when who was born?
Braylon.
I was
16.
13. 13. Chill.
Cap. You were like 68.
I was 13 years old.
No, you were like 33. Stop lying. You were 16.
I was 13.
Cap.
So you're saying there's the same age gap between me and him than mom and me?
Yeah.
No.
You were 14.
I was 13.
I was 6. You were 14.
I was 13, not going. No, I was
You were
13 years
14.
old. I was 13 years
37.
old. There's only 7 years between you and I. You always make it sound like there's 8 years. It's 7
Dude,
years.
It's
between
like
us.
7 years. Your
in
birthday's
in 6 months.
Dude, fuck off. Fuck off. It's 8.
7 months because you're January, December, right?
No, you just
6
said-
months.
you
6
said
months.
January. My nigga.
No, I was thinking January for like January is the first month of the year.
Yeah.
I was being stupid. It's so December. That's the 12th month, and then
6.
6 months. Yeah, 6 full months. Yes,
No, it's not 6 months.
a little less than 6 months. Now we're being nitpicky.
5 months and like 23 days.
All right, so that's all I got outside of sports.
Was I born in a leap year?
Technically,
No.
no.
We were going into a leap year. So it's 20.
This is all semantics at this point.
20 days. No. How many days get added in February?
February, it'd be 1 day if it's a leap year.
What the fuck? Only 1 day gets added?
Yeah, if it's a leap year, only 1 day gets added in February.
Oh, so it's not even 30?
No.
They just have 29 days?
Uh-huh.
Why does every other month have 30 and 31?
I don't know. Not every other month.
Yeah.
August is 30, 31 days.
Every other month has 31 or 30 days.
Yeah.
So why is that one only 29?
I don't know. That stuff was decided well before any of us or anybody that we know were born. All right, so that's all the things outside of sports I really wanted to talk about. Did you hear about the NBA with all the tanking stuff and all of that, right?
All the fuck-ass rules Silver's trying to... Dude, all the rules he's trying to implement are making the draft lottery even worse.
Does it make it worse?
When teams can try their hardest, still be ass, and still not get the first overall pick. Now you're telling me I can't even have a top 4 pick back-to-back years, my nigga? We're still ass. The Pistons literally did nothing in the offseason, and suddenly they're the best team in the NBA. They did.
They did draft Cade Cunningham, and Cade Cunningham is a monster.
Cade Cunningham was the 16th overall pick.
Yeah.
They had only won 8 games.
You're getting so loud already.
Because this, yes, Cade Cunningham, absolutely lock. Bro was pick 16. He wasn't even a lottery pick. Ain't that crazy? That's not crazy to you? Bro wasn't a lottery pick. And they're sitting here like, hey, he's been on the team for 7 years.
He's not been there that long.
6.
No, he's not.
He has a super max. He's been there a while.
Let me make sure. Maybe I think he's only been there 4 years though. Cade Cunningham draft year. He's drafted in 2021. He's 5 years in.
But
Chill.
I said 6, man. My bad. But again,
You said 7 at first.
real quick, I did. I was like 6 might be closer. But again, 5 years where they were still hot dog ass. I don't even think they've had a top 10 pick in that time period. So now you're telling teams like the Pistons, again, no one can tell why they're good. Everybody knows they're frauds.
They're not frauds. They play really good defense. I've watched a lot of basketball recently because I've been betting.
That's great. That's great and all. they're probably not going to make it far. But they did nothing in the offseason. They did nothing. And then suddenly they're good.
I would say that if Boston ends up being good.
That's cool. But again, you're telling teams now we can't have two. And everybody was like, hey, they find the Jazz and Pacers.
500K. Jazz, 500K. Pacers, 100K. Because they were literally resting their healthy starters in tight games all of fourth quarters.
Against who?
That game was against the Heat.
Neither of these teams are playoff teams.
Because they don't want to be.
They literally cannot get... Tyrese Halliburton has been hurt all year. The Pacers have no...
The Pacers let everybody else go once Tyrese Halliburton got hurt last year. They were like, hey, this is a perfect way for us to get cheap and for us to get a lottery pick going into the year after. They gave up before the year even started.
Because he's hurt.
Yes, okay, so I understand them, but they're still going out. Do you think there's a difference? Let me ask you this question. Is there a difference between the way Oklahoma City did it and the way that these two teams are doing it now? I think there's a fuck ton of a difference between what Oklahoma City did for 2 years, where they got a bunch of young dudes and said, hey, we're just going to let you guys go out there and play, make your mistakes, and we're going to be dog ass for a couple years. And then they lucked out, and Shea was a part of the deal when they traded away Paul George, and he turned into their superstar. But like with all the picks and stuff that they got, they were just getting a bunch of young dudes and saying, hey, go play basketball. We don't have to be good. These teams are actively taking away their good players off the court to go be bad.
They didn't want to pay James Harden. Traded him. Got a bunch of first-round picks for him. They didn't want to pay...
Didn't get a bunch of first-round picks.
They got picks for him. They didn't want to pay Serge Ibaka. They got a first-round pick for him because he was coming off a DPOY.
Right.
Kevin Durant left. Did they release him or they traded him? They traded him, didn't they?
They traded him, but it really was for nothing. It was... No, Kevin Durant was a free agent.
Okay. Paul George traded him for first round picks and SGA.
The Paul George trade was the big one that really rebuilt them out to what they are now.
So they just sat around, did a bunch of
Paul George and Russell Westbrook.
So they just gathered a bunch of other people's top picks.
Yeah.
So they didn't care what was happening. Hey, we have a top pick anyway. That team's still shitty.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so all they
did it in a smarter way, but on the basketball court, was what they were doing better than what the Kings are doing right now. Sorry, what the Jazz are doing right now.
So they just took a team. They didn't, because they traded Russell Westbrook to the Rockets.
Yeah,
the Rockets traded them somebody else's pick.
Yeah, that they had. Yeah, for sure.
Which I think it was the Kings. Something's telling me it was the Kings. No, it was the Suns. That the Suns picked from getting rid of CP3. And they were bad that year that he got traded. So I'm pretty sure it was a top 5 pick. So all they did was increase their odds, because you need to have at least 5 first-round picks to even have a chance to get in the top 10. The Bulls know that for fucking sure. You know, that's another thing, is the Bulls are throwing out teams, and, hey, we're still only winning 23 games.
No, that's the thing. The Bulls have been doing this shit and still winning 30-something games and being near the play-in.
But I want this nigga out, because I'm so sure he find these teams because bets were fucked. And a lot of people...
Oh, no, this is more about betting than it actually is about the...
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, for
Adam
sure.
Silver gone.
But here's the thing. They have to do this because guess what? It sucks that the betting is what's going to tip the scales, because every team has their money in on betting.
I understand.
And that's where it becomes an issue.
No, the issue is these teams can't get good because they can fucking win 10 games and still be pick 7.
Yeah.
It's your NBA draft is the fucking problem.
Okay, let me do this real quick. Let me say what the new rules are. I just want to say that real quick.
No, the NBA draft as a whole is the problem.
I think all drafts are a problem.
No, I think every other draft is fine, because the turnaround time for an NFL team takes longer.
True.
The turnaround time for a baseball team is infinite.
Yeah.
You can be horrendous for 30 years and suddenly you have a player.
But the baseball draft doesn't really fucking matter at all.
It doesn't, but that's the thing, is the worst teams go first.
Yeah.
That's just how it works. And the turnaround for those players typically is better. Gunnar Henderson, perfect example. The Orioles, bunch of picks. All those players are under 25 because they had a lot of top picks. And the turnaround time for baseball players, one, is either super fast,
or
they're instantly
fuck
studs,
ton long.
or long.
Yeah.
And that's why having high picks does kind of matter in the MLB draft.
Right.
Especially like pitchers translate very, very well. The ones that the Reds got from Tennessee, Chase Burns. First, he was the second overall pick. Kid throws gas. Absolutely came out in his first outing, fucking shut the Pirates down. The Yankees proceeded to hit 3 home runs off of him. Go have a nice day.
Shit happens.
But again, we were probably the best team in baseball that year.
Yeah.
But again, fire player. He's going to get better.
Right.
Which is why those, like the first 3 rounds in baseball, most of those players are going to be in the MLB.
For sure.
2 to 3 years.
But they have like 12, they have like 15 rounds or something like that.
They keep drafting until they're out of people.
Yeah, they just keep going.
At least they used to.
They don't give a
fuck.
fuck.
I think now they just have like 20. But again, those first 3 rounds, those top couple picks, those top like 90 players.
They're meant to be real players at some point.
They're elite players.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And in the NFL,
the rest are lottery tickets.
The turnaround time in the NFL, the Bengals went from drafting Joe Burrow in 2020, not being great, drafting Jamar Chase.
I think quarterback is a different calculus.
Gamble.
Oh, it's a bigger gamble, but I think it's a different calculus.
But it's almost a lock. If a dude's number one, the dude's number one. That's like 90% of the time he's that guy.
Especially, I would hopefully. I would hope so.
80% of 60% of the time he's that guy. Yeah. Like Baker, number 1 overall pick, good pick. He's a good pick for the Browns this time. Good pick.
I don't think. Can you really say that was
2 playoff berths?
Okay, fine. Yes.
Oh, real quick, he has more playoff wins than Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
I don't think he has more playoff wins than Josh Allen. That's not the case.
The numbers has to be higher than 3.
Josh Allen has more than 3 playoff wins.
That's crazy. Baker Mayfield than the Browns. I think it's more impressive.
No, Baker.
No, fuck you. I think it's more impressive.
Okay, fine. Yes.
Thank you.
Fine. Even though did Baker really turn out to be a first overall pick like talent? I just don't think that was the case. I'm just saying when the first overall pick, it has to be a good mix of lottery ticket talent wise, but also production on the field. I'm just saying. Baker was all production, not a lot of talent.
He took the Browns to the playoffs. That nigga did God's work.
He wasn't even their best player when that happened.
And he still did it. Not once, but twice. And they won a playoff game. Yeah. How many playoff games you won in the last 10 years?
That's some fuck shit you just said.
Yeah, because it wasn't against the Browns, nigga. You ain't won playoff years the last 10 years. Now, I know that for a fact.
We have won one.
Oh, that's crazy.
We faced the Chiefs in the second round and got blown out one year. So
as many as the Browns?
Yeah. It's not good. Not good on us.
I don't want to hear anything from you. He won a playoff game with the Browns against you.
I'm just saying there's a difference between Joe Burrow and Baker Mayfield.
Joe Burrow has the conversation of, hey, I probably am one of the best college quarterbacks of all time.
Right.
I saw somebody made a list.
He put up one of the best seasons of all time, and Baker probably had one of the best careers.
True.
Of all time.
Somebody ranked Baker as the best college quarterback of all time, and I'm like, that might be crazy.
Not when Tim Tebow exists.
That's what a lot of people were saying. They're like, not with Tim Tebow, and then Vince Young was another one.
Vince Young.
Of that boy was balling.
And I would say Cam Newton did God's work at Auburn.
So the dude's list was Baker, Tebow, Cam Newton, Vince Young, and then I don't remember who the 5th guy was. And everybody was like, Joe Burrow's probably on that list.
Joe Burrow's probably on that list, but I think Cam Newton dragged a team that should not have ever been close to a title.
This is what everybody's argument was.
But Joe Burrow had the most prolific one season of a college ball.
This is what everybody's argument was, is that all these other quarterbacks have a natty.
True. Tebow is 2.
And all these other quarterbacks were bona fide, I'm going out here to win this game by hell or high water.
Yeah.
Baker lost a couple big games.
Yeah.
Not because the team was bad.
And Baker never doesn't have a title either.
Exactly. That's what everybody's thing was, if he can't be number 1 when a lot of these guys in a shootout against each other would probably.
Oh, but not especially when people looked at Baker and was like, hey, he won a Heisman. That's his biggest career accomplishment, but otherwise they didn't win a lot of big games. Like, again, he had Lincoln Riley as his head coach, so what in the fuck do you expect? But, no, for sure. But, again, when it comes to, like, counting stats and stuff, he's going to have a lot of that stuff because he played a lot of years in college and all of that.
I'm not going to disrespect that man.
Oh, no, for sure.
Number 1 picks in the MLB, first-round picks in the MLB, and first-round picks in the NFL. Typically, I'd say on a about 80% of them end up being either useful players.
Yeah.
A decent portion end up being stars.
Yeah.
And some of them are just functional role players,
Like
right?
first 2-3 rounds.
Yeah, right. And MLB is probably like the first 3.
Yeah.
And
they're expected to be real players.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then everything after that we'll see them
Just fucking lottery
5
tickets.
years, 10 years. We'll see him. This motherfucker may be 35 up there throwing 106.
Right. Lottery
We don't
tickets at
know.
best. Who knows?
But in MLB,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter as much because
Right.
there's so many players.
NBA is the quickest turnaround or bust potential
in
of all of them.
NBA,
Either that-
everybody from pick 1 to 48 could be hot dog shit.
Yeah.
There's drafts like that.
Yeah.
There's a 2000 draft, I believe, where the best player was Jamal Crawford.
Jokic was a second round pick.
Exactly, and that's the thing of it is boom or bust. You know if they work, you know if they don't.
Jimmy Butler was like the last pick in the first round. Giannis was a pick like 14.
Yes, and it's with the draft, the lottery. It is literally like the lottery. You are rolling
for sure.
the dice. This dude may work, he may not. But all-time stars, Dirk Nowitzki was skipped up until pick 8.
Yeah.
And proceeded to drag a team to the finals, beat prime LeBron.
Yeah.
Like, Michael Jordan was pick 3.
Yeah.
Now, I don't remember the motherfucker that was in between him and Hakeem. No one looks at Hakeem Olajuwon and be like, yeah, I was a
Oh, that was a terrible idea.
That was a
Yeah.
mistake
No,
of the
for
first round
sure.
pick.
Yeah.
That boy has 2 chips. Only
I forget the guy's name that was before Jordan, but it was at the same position too and everything.
He was a bust.
And he was a total bust.
But,
Yeah.
like, sorry, I always think about that of everybody's like, who the fuck was this guy? But no one's ever like, Hakeem should have never been the first overall pick.
Oh, no.
Everybody was like, yeah, he does that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, he has 2 chips.
When Jordan wasn't around.
When Jordan wasn't around. Hey, if that ain't a mark to that dude's career of you won 2 chips, because Jordan was retired.
Yeah.
But again, that boy, still as soon as the best player, one of the best player ever.
Hakeem is
retired.
like looked at as like a top 20 type player of all
Absolutely.
time. Yeah.
And he deserves that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he was that good.
Yeah.
But like it's the NBA lottery is truly a gamble. These players may work, these players may not. Like and then players may just take too long to develop in the NBA. There's times where the player has been in the NBA for 8 years and suddenly he's a bona fide star. Jalen Brunson was in the NBA for 3 years.
No, longer than that.
Was it really longer than that?
He was in Dallas with Luka.
Oh, so he was there a while.
He was there 3, 4, 5 years. Yeah.
And suddenly he gets traded to the Knicks, suddenly he's a star.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
it is just how it works in the NBA. Like and nowadays there's a dude on the Rockets last night who scored 40.
Yeah.
I literally saw him on broadcast. And
40?
40
Because Kevin Durant had like 25.
on Golden
28.
State. I looked at this dude.
Nope, they didn't play Golden State last night.
Then it was a different day. I don't know.
Golden State. Oh, they played. They played fucking.
I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care.
It doesn't
I looked
matter.
at this dude and I was like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Because it's 40.
Yeah.
In the NBA, players come from so many other places in the NBA.
Yeah.
And it's just
This is one thing I'll give you, right?
gamble.
These rules make a lot more sense if you didn't make it so hard for teams to trade for players and all that with the second and the first and second apron shit they've been doing.
Trade
They
a
made
certain
it so
amount of
much harder.
picks, like it's-
They made it so much harder for teams to trade for players if you're over the salary cap and all of that.
And
So like these rules make a lot less sense when you did that before because then you're
yes,
just taking away
I think
opportunities
they're trying
to make your
get
team
teams
better.
To make teams naturally.
Right.
It's almost as if they're trying to get rid of the moniker of having super teams.
Yeah.
And I understand that fact, but
But then you're going to make it harder to draft to go get your superstar players
I
in the
can't
draft too. Yeah.
and again, OKC's GM is
A fucking mad genius and he just
I
robbed
don't-
everybody.
I don't understand how
Yeah.
he can rob everybody, draft, pick up the best free agents. I had no clue who Lou Dort was until suddenly he put up how many points in his playoff game?
Right.
His first ever NBA game? Oh, I just put up a cool 50 piece.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Yeah.
Luau's Dort. You're telling me he just put up 50 on the Houston Rockets?
Yeah. He's
With-
again, it's just he's like top tier type of GM
No, he's
in the
genius.
in the
He's a
in the NBA.
genius. But like it is impossible to draft as is because Cooper Flagg looked trash until like 3 weeks ago, and then suddenly he started popping.
No, he was really good. No, he had like a 3 weeks. He had like a whole
It was 3 games.
3 games where he had like 100 points.
And before that,
they tried to play him at point guard to start the year, and it went terrible. And that's not really what. Again, he can play point, but having him play point all the time is stupid.
Yeah.
And then once they got him off of playing point, he's able to kind of spread out, do a lot more. And he might be the best white boy, other than Jokic, might be the best white boy in the NBA. I guess Luka. Yeah, add Luka in there. Sorry, my bad. Best American white boy.
There you go. And I knew it was coming here soon.
Sorry, those two are like anomalies. I'm not gonna try to compare him to Luka or Jokic. But I'm just like, okay, the rules that make sense. The first round draft picks can be protected only for top 4 or top 14 plus selections. That makes sense to me. So because they were like protecting, because the Jazz were there in a
top 5 and top 10.
Yeah, because the Jazz were because they were in a spot where if their pick isn't a top 8 pick, then they lose their pick, which is why the Jazz are going as bad as they are of trying to be bad this year because they don't want to lose their first round pick if they're outside of that top 8. So that I understand. The lottery odds freezing at the trade deadline or a later date.
Crazy.
There's
That's
crazy. There's no saying.
That is in-fucking-sane.
They just get to choose a day.
Can come out of the trade deadline so much better and make the playoff. That is insane.
Best thing is that's like the trade deadline or a later date. So they can fucking choose whenever they want to freeze the odds.
It needs to be a set day of the odds are done here.
But I get why they don't want to do that because then the teams have a mark just like, hey, we just need to be bad until this point, and then we can try. The no longer allowing a team to pick in the top 4 in consecutive years or after consecutive bottom 3 finishes kind of makes sense to me because they don't want the freaking 76ers thing to happen. You know, the 76ers were like literally being ass every single year to get a top 5 pick. So I get the idea of why they want to do that. Teams can't pick in the top 4 the year after making the conference finals. I think that's the Oklahoma City clause. So what happens if you have somebody else's pick and it's in the top 4? Do you just fucking give it up?
This is the problem. These rules don't make any fucking sense. I traded my superstar to this bad team to get their pick. Now I can't have a top 4 pick because I made the finals?
Yeah. The conference finals.
That doesn't make sense. These rules suck ass.
Lottery extended to include all play-in teams and flattened odds for all lottery teams. I do like the flattened odds to a certain extent, but here's the thing. They're trying to fix an already flawed system, and it's just like, again, like I think I'll give you this credit, is that they're making these very abrupt moves because of betting. This isn't about the people on the court. This isn't about people at the games. They don't want the betting stuff to become a real issue because, let's be honest, all these teams are getting money from sports books literally at this point because they pretty much the NFL and the NBA allow teams to own a certain amount of sports books without it being an issue. That's where all this is coming from. This isn't about all the other shit. Like, this is all about betting. But this made me think, should we get rid of drafts in just like the standard draft in every sense of it, right? Because I would say if they wanted to make this keep it as a draft, but be a lot more even, I would go with what you're talking about, making it more like the NFL, where the worst team gets the top pick and just let it be that way, a lot like the NFL and the way they do it. Because at least if you're bad, it's an instant payout and you don't have to sit here and do it for multiple years. And you don't have all of these teams all trying to go after this holy grail top pick or top 3 pick when they know, hey, I could just be bad this year and I'll probably get the pick I want to get. And then as long as I get the player that I'm supposed to get that's going to be my superstar, we'll be good and we'll be out of trying to be in the lottery every year. So this is where I thought about I know you're probably going to look at me and say I'm stupid when I bring this up. How would I change? This is what I was thinking about earlier. How would I change the NFL draft if I could do it? And just get rid of the actual, every player, if whatever you're at, your player has to get picked to that spot if you get picked by that team. So this is my my thought process to you, and you just give me your thoughts, okay? every team in the NFL would keep their slotted money. So you know how in the NFL, if you have pick 1, that first pick can get paid a certain amount of money because that's the first pick in the draft. They can get paid the most, but it's like pretty much slotted because there's really not a lot of like negotiation as to how much a player can get paid. Because if you're a first overall pick, you're in this spot, right? So the way I do it is every team in the NFL would still keep their slotted money based on where they finished the season before. So if you have a first, a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, and a seventh, you will keep a slot of this is the amount of money that you can pay a player if you put them in this slot, and this is how much you can pay them, okay? But every draft eligible player would be available to all NFL teams for the players to be able to decide if money or team opportunity are more important to them. Mm-hmm. So this is my thought. If every team has an opportunity to sign whatever player, no matter where you're at, number one, if you're the best team in the NFL the year before, and you can convince that player, hey, I can only pay you the 30-second slot. I have the 30-second pick. I can only pay you what a 30-second pick would get paid. Mm-hmm. First-round pick would get paid. But if you're willing to take that discount and come play with us, you can be in a better situation, a winning situation, and do it that way. Mm-hmm. I think that's a cool concept. And then by doing this would force teams to be more buttoned up, to be able to convince talented players to go to a worse team for more money, rather than going to better organizations that a talented player would be better on or have earlier chances at early success, but less money. Mm-hmm. So the way I'm thinking about it is to still kind of keep the same kind of draft process. Is like you can still like trade for picks and all of that, but now instead of having 2 second-round picks, now you just have 2 second-round pick slots that you can try to get a player to go into. It's like, hey, I have the second round 34th overall pick.
It's extended free agency.
Right.
So it's what it was like in the fucking 30s. They had a system like this already.
Did they really?
Yep.
I was thinking about it just more like college football.
Nope.
But with more structure.
So the UFL, back when they were two different things, that was their system.
XFL?
No. The UFL.
UFL is a new one.
No, my bad. It was before they had the NFC and AFC. So like the Chiefs were a team in the AFC.
Okay.
But they existed differently. So they had 2 different leagues.
Okay.
They had I think it was the NFL and the AFL.
Okay.
The AFL would just pick guys. You were able to pick a number of guys, and you're allowed to pay those guys. Each team would just basically go through picking the guys they want, and they'd be allowed to just pay. You could straight pay them.
Yeah.
No picks. Well, either was, but you were just picking the guy.
Right.
You know what the NFL does? Buys the fucking AFL because it's working too well for them. Because they still play a championship every year.
Yeah.
Suddenly, they started losing those championships. That system is very, very great if you're a team with money.
No, because you'd still get the same. You still get those slots. So like this wouldn't necessarily count because every team is like, hey, you have to have this amount of money for in your salary cap allocated for the draft coming up. If you don't, then you have to deal with a lot of different issues.
Okay, so what you've just said is the Browns will never get another player ever again.
No, but if they have a top 5 pick, then they still have top 5 money. So somebody's going to want to take that big amount of money that they're going to be able to pay somebody. But then they still have to convince them like, hey, I'm going to give you all this money. But maybe you have to battle against somebody that's maybe 6 picks behind you that has a little bit less, but maybe has a better situation. So like, I think overall it would force a lot of teams to button their shit up and not just say, hey, we've been ass the last 4 years. We've had top 5 picks the last 5 years, but we're not actually trying to be better.
In 2020, if that was how the draft was done, and Joe Burrow, we would go to Joe Burrow like, hey, we're going to give you $24 million. And be like, fuck you, I'm going to the Chargers.
Yeah.
So you know what that means is that the teams at the top of, there's 2 problems with this. One, every team on the fucking West Coast is never getting another fucking player again. Because, fuck you, I'm not going to Ohio.
I mean the East Coast.
My bad. I'm not going to
the
Ohio.
Midwest or the Midwest.
I'm not going to Ohio. I don't want to play in fucking Philadelphia. I don't want to play for the fucking
Philadelphia is a really well-known franchise that I think a lot of people would go to.
Go walk around on that street at 7 o'clock at night. There was a player who got jumped in Philadelphia. He's a Philadelphia Eagle outside of his fucking hotel, jumped by 4 dudes. He's an Eagle. I don't want to go there, let alone fucking Pittsburgh.
But again, they wouldn't have unlimited spots. You'd still have the same amount of draft picks that you would have if it was a normal draft.
Yeah, don't fucking pick me.
But again, that's what happened now. Think about Dante Moore, the Oregon quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. He was able to be drafted this year, and he would have been assuredly the number 1 and number 2 overall pick, and everybody decided that Mendoza was going to be the guy picked by the Raiders at number 1. So guess who the fucking number 2 overall pick is? It's the fucking Jets. And he decided, nope, I don't want to go there. I'd rather go back to Oregon for a year and hope I get to avoid you. Mm-hmm. But imagine if that shit didn't have to happen, and there'd be another team that's lower on the list that he'd be able to go to if he's willing to take a little bit less money. I feel like that'd be a cool
Now
cool
the Jets
option.
are never getting a fucking quarterback. You don't understand the problem.
But somebody would take that money at some point.
Okay, cool. So when they get this fucking sixth round quarterback who's like, I'm just gonna take the money. They need a quarterback. They're fucking hot dog ass. They gotta pay somebody. So now they're getting worse players at higher spots because the better players are going lower because I don't want to go to the fucking Jets. So now the better players are falling lower to those teams in the teens and in the 30s because those teams are in better positions. They're always down there. Now, this benefits teams who are better overall.
It would
the
benefit
Steelers,
teams in the middle.
The Ravens, the Bills, all those teams would benefit like a motherfucker. The Jets, Browns, Panthers, those teams would be so bad they would go defunct in 5 years.
But wouldn't that force them to actually run their organizations better, though?
They're trying. That's the problem.
You actually think they're trying? You think the fucking Cleveland Browns are trying?
They're keeping their star players. Okay. The Browns of 5 years ago are trying.
Browns aren't fucking trying. They signed fucking Deshaun Watson.
The Bengals. They're fucking trying. The Bengals are trying so hard. In 2020, Joe Burrow would have told us to eat a fucking dick.
The Bengals are not fucking trying. Joe Burrow is trying. Do you think they're actually exhausting all? Do you think that because we've talked about this before? You don't actually believe the Bengals are exhausting all options.
No. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. You would force a team to be fucking honest and be like, hey, we are going to go after this because we have to be able to convince the next great player, if we have a chance to get them, that we're actually trying to go for this shit. That's what I think. I think overall it would force a lot of teams to shape up and actually go try to be a good team.
But again, these teams that are going to be in the top 10 are going to consistently be in the top 10 because these better players are not. I don't want to come to your team. So now worse players getting picked earlier, and those teams are staying bad. Their situation can't get better because they can't get better players because the better players go for less money. I would prefer to win because in this world they're still making money from NIL. So there are most of these
a lot of these players will be coming in a lot richer than
I already have the money. I don't need more. I can go be pick 19, go to the fucking Packers. If it's
have
up to Carnell Tate be like, fuck that, I'm going back to college. He's just out of college years.
No, he's not.
Then this motherfucker should run back to college right now. If he should call the Browns and be like, hey, if y'all draft me, I'm going to tear my own ACL. That's what he should do. Because let's be 100% honest. The dude, Dante Moore, I wouldn't go to the Jets either.
Fuck that.
Fuck that.
I totally understand.
Fuck that.
I understand making that decision.
Understand.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? Every year, if this system was in place, you would go, I totally understand. And the Jets would go defunct. Because the NFL draft makes toward these teams, now you have to try. You've been given the number 2 overall pick. Now you have to put a team around it. If you don't, it's on you.
That's true, but I also...
And this is where it is a thing. The Texans were a bad team, got the number 2 overall pick, got their quarterback, drafted a receiver before, drafted a receiver in the draft, traded it up to get another defensive player.
They traded up in that same draft. Yes, they got the 2 and 4.
Drafted a fuck ton of defense, had been drafting great defensive players, drafted an offensive player. They built a team.
But Houston wanted to be good. They weren't trying to be ass.
That's the thing. If they were pick fucking 9 and they get a quarterback that sucks ass, now it's like, well, now we're trying too hard. We don't have the player to build around. We have to be bad to get better. Now these teams, we're just going to keep using the fucking Jets because, God, the Jets are, hey, we're trying. We're really trying to put a team together. We can't get anybody to come to the Jets in free agency. we can't get any draft pick. We can't draft anybody to come to our team because all the top quarterbacks keep going like the 15s to 20s because that's where better teams are.
But again, the 15s to 20s, a lot of times those teams will have quarterbacks. More often than not.
You're in the 15s.
We're 21.
Where's your quarterback?
We're going to be bringing back an old-ass Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, real quick. You just said most of those teams have quarterback. I'm going to pull that up. If I can name, if 4 to 5 of those teams don't have fucking quarterbacks, I'm going to whip your ass.
From what draft slots? What are you going from 17 to 25?
Nope. I'll just start naming them. The Miami Dolphins. 11. The Atlanta Falcons.
They just drafted a guy in the top 10.
He's not coming. He's not going to be there next year.
No, he's not.
Fuck. The Colts.
Daniel Jones, they actually like him, yes.
How's his leg?
He'll be back.
Is it facing that way or that way?
He got hurt early enough to where he will be able to come back in the middle of the next season. He'll be able to come back in the middle of next season. They want him to keep him as a quarterback. He's their option.
Yeah. The Minnesota Vikings.
They need a quarterback.
That's 18.
Yeah.
The Carolina Panthers. That's 19. The Pittsburgh Steelers. It's 21, bro.
Okay.
The Chargers.
Yes.
I'd say they're getting ready to question him.
Yeah, but again, yes. But yes, I get what you're saying.
The rest of these teams, all right, I could swing that, but my nigga, that is 22. So,
I get what you're saying.
19, 18, the Lions probably are going to be having to look for his replacement at some point.
But he's around 30, 31?
Yeah, but he's not as talented as other quarterbacks.
Yeah, but I just think he's he's good enough in the NFL. He's proven to be a borderline top 10 guy when healthy and when he has a good offensive line in front of him. We've seen it.
And
like
one of the best coordinators we've probably seen.
But again, is he bad enough for a team like that has a chance to go out and win to take a chance on trying to pick up another quarterback and lose him?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go for it.
Is Jared Goff good at all, or did he benefit from Sean McVay and Ben Johnson?
I think he is again, I haven't been the biggest
I think
Jared
he's
Goff
not
believer.
that great. I think he benefited from a Sean McVay and Ben Johnson system.
I think he is a top 10 to 15 quarterback.
I think he has the tools to be.
He's better than Kirk Cousins.
That's Kirk Cousins.
But again, Kirk Cousins at his best was sitting around 15, right? Am I crazy? He's sitting around 15 to 15.
Yeah, but that was on his own merit of being average. I don't think Goff is actually that fucking good.
I think he's better than that.
I think he played in a Sean McVay system and then a Ben Johnson system, and it hit all his problems. He playing that system this year, he hot dog shit.
I don't think he was. I think the offense was ass. I'm going
to pull up his fucking statistics. Please don't do this to me. Please don't do this to me.
Okay, you're going to pull it up. But while you're doing that, can you say at least my thought process, there is some good things about it?
No, bad.
It's all bad? Nothing good about it whatsoever? I don't care about the fucking Jets.
Dude,
they have to be better.
In that system, there's so many teams that can't attract a player. The Bengals have a problem of, we can't really attract players here. One, no one wants to play in fucking Cincinnati.
Yeah, and if they do play in Cincinnati, you guys don't want to pay them long term.
So what's the point? So if a player was to come like, hey, why would I want to be here? I'm the top defensive pick. Why would I want to go to Cincinnati when historically you will not pay defensive players?
I think in the best case scenario, you're forcing these teams to be like, hey, if you want, you can't sit here and just have a safety net of, we're going to be in the top 5 picks again, and we're going to be able to guarantee get whatever player we want as long as they're available and they have no opportunity to pick somewhere else. I just think it would force ownerships and force organizations to just try to be a more soundly run organizations. That's it. I think it would just, again, the teams have to be willing to. You think that the Jets have terrible ownership? Like, you think if the Jets have better ownership? Because again, all their owner is like they're a bunch of trust fund babies that all their money is in pharmaceutical money. So like these aren't these are dudes that never have to do anything in their life, and they get to own an NFL team, and they do fuck all with it. So I think I get what you're talking about, and I get the idea that there are teams like the Jets and because I think the Panthers could easily build themselves a good team. They are in a good city on the East Coast, they are in a good spot. Like, all they have to do is have some little bit better ownership and have a better plan, and I think they'll be able to get players there. And like what you're saying is the worst of the worst teams, the ones that can't get out of their own way, are always going to be bad. And there's not going to be any opportunity for them because they can't force a great talent to go play there. That I totally understand, but I also think that the way I'm thinking, like, at least my whole little thought process here, that the teams that are in the middle of the draft, maybe I like this so much because I'm a Steelers fan and they always want to try to win. So, like, giving those teams a chance to go get some of the more higher end players, if they can convince them to take less money, is a cool option for me. Like, at least the way I think about it. Especially with players now making more money in college, and they're coming in not necessarily flat broke and need to look for the highest paycheck they possibly can. I like the idea that the teams in the middle won't automatically be like, hey, you have to go be ass in the next couple years to go get a great player that can be a cornerstone of your franchise. I don't know. I'm not saying my thing is foolproof, but I just think it's a little bit better in certain ways than what we have now in the NFL draft. Are you still looking up the thing about the?
No, the system's dog shit and keeps teams bad. To where it just keeps teams bad. It's a dog shit system. If you are not a good city, the fucking LA teams are going to eat in this system.
Yeah, but they still have the same amount of picks though. Like the amount of picks they have don't change.
That's great. Hey, I'm a first round pick. I'm just gonna wait to the second round back when you're at pick 29, and then I'll go.
Yeah, but that's such a difference in money that's like that you're really doing harm. I'm a
top 10 player in the country. You're gonna pick this other top 10 player in the country. It's all good. I'm coming out of school making $8 million a year. I'm not in poverty anymore.
Very few players are making $8 million. Okay,
if you are a top 5 guy, you're talking. Who's coming out next year, Joe? Give me a rough idea who you think's coming out next year.
And be like top 5 picks type of guys?
Yeah.
Jeremiah, Arch Manning.
Hey, Arch, you're going to be our first overall pick. Hey, Jeremiah Smith, do you want to... Hey, Arch, you're going to be our 20th overall pick. Hey, Jeremiah Smith, do you also want to come with Arch Manning in the second round at 20? You're probably the second highest earner in college sports. You don't really need the money.
Yeah, but then
at pick 20, we'll just take you again.
Then that's on the player to be willing to take such a pay cut, and
if I'm
player
going
won't be willing to take that big of a pay cut.
Let's say 21. You know who's at 21 this year? The Green Bay Packers. Or let's say who's at 19? The Los Angeles Chargers. You're telling me the kid from Florida and the one from Missouri? He's from Missouri? Arch. Louisiana. My bad. Yeah. You're telling me that kids from down south won't want to go to sunny California and play for the Los Angeles Chargers in the nice warm weather where they're both already very rich, like buku rich. Like they don't need to even play sports anymore. They're so rich. You think Jeremiah Smith wouldn't be okay with going to a winning situation?
Yeah, probably.
In a warm state? So you're telling me that a team, let's say the one that just won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I need like 4 of these top 10 guys. Let's get them coming to this team, fill in the spots of these stars that we're leaving because they're all already fucking stars. So I'm getting these top 5 guys at picks, let's say, 32, 60.
Maybe you're being more forgiving as to what you think players be willing to take. I don't think players be willing to take that big of a discount. I think the
Jeremiah
difference.
Smith's making $7 million this year.
Yeah.
Not including. That's just NIL, right?
That's just NIL, yes.
Oh, so not including all the brand deals he has?
No, they're saying he's making around he's making $7 million from Ohio State, yeah. But they do it the more legit way, so they're actually doing it through brands, and then he's making probably a couple more mil through Red Bull and some of the other bigger brands he's probably dealing with on his own. I think the
Gang, I need you to understand, bro.
no, I understand what you're talking about. I really do.
Do you know how much money he's making this year?
Oh,
like,
he's
outside of you?
easily making 10 figures total. Easily making 10 figures.
That boy's going to make $14.3 million this year.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. It's him and Arch, those two biggest names in college football coming in next year.
And again, in my theory, let's say the Chargers are a great example. I picked 19. Arch is your quarterback.
Again, they have Herbo. They're not gonna. Arch is not gonna go there.
It's just okay. Los Angeles Rams. Let's go with that one.
Go sit behind Stafford for a year or two.
Sit behind Stafford for a year. We're gonna throw Jeremiah Smith on the other side of Puka Nacua just because Devontae Adams is getting old. And we'll just trade Devontae Adams for a second-round pick because he's worth that at this point. And then we're just going to be the greatest team in the NFL come the next year. All you have to do, take a little less money. You're already making $14 million this year. You're going to have a crazy bonus.
It wouldn't be a little bit less money. If you're going to be a late second-round pick instead of a top 5 pick, that's $20 million difference in money.
Jeremiah Smith, we can give you something that OSU couldn't give you for the second time. How's another ring sound?
He already had it. Chill. That was unnecessary. He already
has a ring. Great. Hey, Jeremiah Smith, all you got to do is stand next to the guy named Puka Nacua. You're going to have a defender that's not going to be nowhere near as fucking good as you are. Arch, all you have to do, bro, go sit on that bench right there. We'll call you next year. Enjoy your Super Bowl ring.
I get what you're saying.
Literally,
yes.
The West Coast teams are going to demolish. They're going to love this. They're going to eat on this because there's going to be so many players that don't want to play. I don't want to go play in fucking Ohio. I don't want to go play in fucking Pennsylvania.
Actually, the Ohio thing might actually get better with all these teams going to domes. The Browns are going to a dome. The Bears are going to a dome. Like, there's a lot of teams going to domes.
The Bengals ain't.
They're going to get a new owner.
They ain't renewed the contract either. This is the last year in this stadium. Fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
So we haven't renewed a contract. We have nothing else. Since the city of Cincinnati will not give them the money. Because they probably look at this and like, why the fuck did you pay Trey Hendrickson? Mayor probably tweaking the fuck out in his office. But again,
it takes away from the lower teams that are not in as great of areas. I get that. I do.
Which is basically over half the NFL.
Maybe it's because you have less of a faith that those teams will actually become better teams.
I'm a Bengals fan.
Yeah.
We didn't. We got worse. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah,
It won't work because I'm watching the byproduct of it not working. And let's say this system's implemented in 2026. Bengals be the prime team of looking at that and be like, fuck that. Fuck that. They clearly did not try harder. They got another receiver. Let go of several defensive stars, 3 of which, fun fact, were all on the defense. All became Pro Bowlers. Jesse Bates actually made 2 All-Pros after that. And now they're one of the worst teams in football for the last 2 years.
I get it. I was just trying to I just think in general, I just think there's more of
it's inefficient. There's too many wrongs that will not make a right.
I just feel like maybe the system currently that we have isn't giving too much of a slack to the bad teams that aren't actually trying to be better organizations. They're just trying to get the best players and get a boost from that, and not actually trying to change the way they do their business.
The Raiders did try. They got a quarterback. They thought they did. Hey, look, we're gonna grab a quarterback, see if that helps us out. They paid him. They tried. They got worse
by hiring Josh McDaniels, who's already shown to be a bad coach.
Okay, real quick. You say that this motherfucker won fucking coordinator of the year.
Yeah, but
shut the fuck up.
But he already ruined the Broncos.
I understand.
Everybody knew as a head coach he was ass.
No one can tell me that you look at him, see him do great things as a coordinator, and be like, he has to be a good head coach.
And then
has to be.
So you fire him. You have your interim coach, interim head coach. Hire him and then change your mind super quick and don't like him. I think this all started with them actually hiring what's his face, the guy that was on the Monday Night Football. I forget his name. But no, I just think that the Raiders, yes, they may have tried, but they're still bad about ownership.
Yeah, but that they were trying. They were trying. They were doing things. Looking at what Josh McDaniels was doing with other teams as a coordinator, I would want to hire him as a coach. He just won off coordinator of the year.
Yes.
Like, so I would want to hire him as a head coach. Everything about him says he'd be a great head coach. He's just fucking not. And as the team like the Raiders, where you can't really get a coach to really want to come to your team. Fuck, look at the Browns. They were in no... I can't even tell you who the fuck their coach is. I saw his name, looked at it, and went, who? Because they're in no man's land. The Raiders and Browns are in no man's land. The Cardinals are getting that same spot of they're in no man's land. There's nowhere for us to go. We're trying.
I think teams like the Cardinals and Raiders are a lot different than a team like the Browns.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Okay, I get it. Fine, cool. Combine. Can I at least get a little credit for trying? No. Okay.
That was a bad system. It only benefits teams that are literally. It'll only benefit teams that are anywhere from 15 to 32, because those teams can alert players, be like, hey, we're going to have another winning season. We're only going to get better with you on the roster, and the better those teams get, the more learning they become to players, especially top 10 players. They've already come out of college. Let's say they're 3-year guys. They've been making money for 3 years.
Yeah.
Most of them can sit back and be like, hey, if I'm going to be on this team, I may have to wait for 4 to 5 years, but I'm going to get another big contract.
I know. Maybe
especially if they are truly star players, they're going to sit back and be like, that's fine. I'm going to come out, ball out, and I'm going to get my contract. Especially when these guys, if you were to tell Jeremiah Smith, hey, you're going to be on the, let's say, you're going to be a Seahawk. You're going to be a part of the Seattle Seahawks. You are going to get picked 32 money. You know what he's going to do? Cool. I'm going to bet on myself. I'm going to ball out for the next.
That's where I think the difference is. I don't think Jeremiah Smith, a guy that knows how much he can do and what he's worth, will be willing to take that big of a discount, even if he has money sitting in the bank.
But
that's where my flaw in my thing is. Where maybe I'm underestimating how much I think the players will be willing to take a discount to go to a better situation. Maybe I'm just thinking that they're going to want to find a happy medium. If you're the maybe top number 1 overall pick, you won't want to go below pick 10.
Didn't he
to go to a better spot?
Stay with Ohio State.
About $1 million discount.
So he already took a discount to stay with the team who was worse.
Ohio State's not worse than Miami on a yearly basis.
Did you lose to Miami?
I don't give two. I don't want to argue about this. I'm done now.
He took a pay cut to stay with you guys when he could have went back to his hometown team.
Yeah, the hometown team understands.
Who played in the national championship.
But on a year in, year out basis, Miami is not a better team than Ohio State. I
understand, but at the standpoint of what you just said, arguably, that's what he did. He stayed with a team who was worse overall the year before.
Yes.
At a pay cut when they were offering more money. It is his hometown team. They were just in a national championship, but their offense was abysmal. And a player like him, guess what he would do? Fix that.
But guess what? They're replacing another quarterback again. So they're not going to get any better from that aspect.
Again, what you just said is exactly what just happened. He took a pay cut to stay with Ohio State. That's not a shot against you. It is a genuine observation.
I just think Miami
took a pay cut to stay with a team that's not. I'm not saying you were a worse team, but you were a worse team and they were in a better situation at the end of the year.
Yes, they had the perfect team to beat Ohio State to what they were this year. Yes.
Yes, and a team like that, especially if they get a recruit like Jeremiah Smith, is going to attract a quarterback like that. And that's what I think their ideal was. If we get him first, we can get a better quarterback recruit.
Maybe, but I also think that he's going into year 2 now with Julian Sand, and that is year 2 of Sand starting. No, going to year 2, Julian Sand starting, and
I understand, but that is.
And now having a legacy at Ohio State, no matter what happens in the NFL, he'll be able to come back to Columbus, and he will be a king forever.
That's cool. But
there's something to that.
What you had just said is false because it's what he did. It's false. Regardless of what the teams actually are, what you said was false. He took a pay cut to stay.
He took a pay cut to stay at Ohio State. Yes, for sure. He took a pay cut.
What next?
Combine in the NFL is next week. 5 things I am looking forward to in the Combine. Number 1, because
looking forward to Sunny South to the Cowboys.
Number 1, Ohio State guys.
Man, that sounded like it hurt more.
Anything that Ohio State, all the Ohio State guys, I want to see them go out, ball out. Even if the most of them don't run because it just doesn't make sense, especially if all of them are going to. I think like 4 guys are going to be like top 4 guys are going to be top 15 picks. So like they're probably not going to run, but all the measurements and all that, I love seeing what they can do when they decide what they decide to do in the for the combine. Number 2, quarterback prospects outside of Mendoza. Is there going to be a number 2 guy that people can really look at? It's like, is there going to be another number 1, another first round pick at quarterback?
Somebody's going to overreach on the Alabama quarterback, Ty Larson.
Ty Simpson.
Somebody's going to overreach on him.
Ty Simpson, or why am I forgetting the other guy's name? That's also an option. Is there going to be a number 2 guy that like somebody's going to fall in love with? That's where I'm looking for. Because I think all of them will throw. I don't think Mendoza will, but I think everybody else will because they have something to prove. So that'll be something to see. Maybe if there's going to be a quarterback that can kind of make his claim that he's going to be the number 2 guy behind Mendoza, because it's pretty much a consensus he's the number 1 guy going to the Raiders.
I still don't think of Mendoza.
Number 3, this is a deep wide receiver class this year. There's like a bunch of dudes that are going to be able to go on teams. Like there's going to be a 3rd round pick at wide receiver that's going to be maybe potentially being a number 1 because of how deep this wide receiver class. And as a little bit like a mini story, Mekhi Lemon, the wide receiver from USC, do you know he's like listed at like 5'10"? Mm-hmm. A lot of times when they list you in college, you're shorter than that. They're saying Mekhi Lemon might be like, if he's like coming up at like 5'8", 5'9", as a receiver, no matter how explosive he is, that's super short. And there's no way you can be a first round pick if you're that small. Unless you are a freaking like absolute speedy burner, going to like run past anybody that you have that you're going up against.
Zay Flowers, 5'9".
But Zay Flowers was a late first round pick.
I actually think Mekhi Lemon's more talented than Zay Flowers.
I think he might be a more technical, better receiver.
I agree.
But I think Zay Flowers still has a tad bit more tools. And here's the thing. Has Zay Flowers really lived up to being a first-round pick at a wide receiver? I don't think so. Even though I think he's still put up 1,000-yard seasons and all of that. But that's number 3. Number 4, is there going to be any potential force of nature defensive ends coming out? No. Because the guys they're looking at like can be great pass rushers are going to be linebackers are going to be converted over. They're saying Arvell Reese, they're probably going to convert him from linebacker to defensive end, but that's still going to be a conversion that you're going to have to hope that he can make that switch and turn into the guy that everybody saw at Ohio State, where he's just a complete physical freak. 6'4", 225, long arms, an absolute like alien of a prospect. But can he make that switch to defensive end and become the guy that he's going to be a top 5 pick? Will he be able to play up to that top 5 pick is going to be the question. Or any other guys that'll be up there. And then number 5, how many game-changing corners are there? Because Mansour Delane, the guy from LSU, is like the only guy that's looked at as like a potential like a top 10 pick type of corner, depending on how he tests and if he's fast enough. But like, is there going to be any other corners that you can really rely on to be like really like number 1 corner type of guys?
No.
That'll be something, again, that's something you can see at the combine that you can kind of get a better spot of, because seeing how fast they run and what they can do. So I'll be very excited to see if they can do that. And then on top of that, the offensive lineman stuff, if you can find some monsters that way that can still run pretty fast, even if they're a little bit heavier. And I think the combine is a fun time to kind of just see these dudes kind of show out, do what they can do, show what they can do. And I love the combine time of year, and it's a very fun watch. Did you know the Bears are going to be moving to Indiana?
Yeah.
And I forget which city it's in. Hold on, let me make sure I get the name right. I think it's like Hammond, Indiana. Bears moving to Indiana. I think it's Hammond, Indiana. So I tested. I looked it up on Google Maps. It is about a little over an hour away from Chicago. And so again, it's not a crazy trip. It's not like
no, but like, why?
Do you know why? Because taxpayers in Chicago don't want to pay up to pay for half the stadium in order for them to build a new stadium in Chicago. But guess what? The people of Indiana are like, hey, we're more than happy to pay for part of the stadium and all of that. And that's why they're willing to take the move, because they want to build a beautiful stadium. I think it's another dome, by the way, and do all that. But we want to have somebody else pay for it, even though these billionaires have more than enough money to build these stadiums that they want to build. But guess what? The way the billionaires stay rich is that they get other people to pay for their stuff. So do you think, I think the fact that it's only an hour away, I think is helpful because most of the fans, they're diehard Bears fans anyway. The fact that they're going to have to take a little bit of a drive to get to that stadium isn't necessarily the worst thing of all time. Because think about it this way: worse was the Raiders moving from, was it L.A.? No. Where were the Raiders at before? Oakland. When they moved from Oakland to Vegas, that is a much bigger move. Here's the thing: most of their fans kind of stuck around. They make the trip, and that's a much farther trip than what Bears fans will have to take to now get to Hammond, Indiana, to kind of see their new stadium. I just think it sucks. It's crazy that the city of Illinois won't have a team at all, and now Indiana will have two. I just thought it was a fun thing, and I'm like, okay, that's like it's a weird one because it's why Indiana of all places. But I do get they're trying to split the baby of maybe we can make a move, go to a different state that's willing to help pay for our stadium, but not be too far away from our base fans, that they'll be more than okay of like, hey, we don't have to pay the taxes to pay for the stadium, but we have to take a drive to go and get to the stadium and do all that. But I did see the mock-up for their stadium. It's going to look beautiful, but it's another dome. Are you okay with domes? Like, would you be okay if pretty much all NFL teams went to domes?
Just now got an indoor practice field. I can't even think about a dome.
As a concept, do you like that teams have like, snow and all the crazy weather, or would you rather just all teams go to domes?
I like the ambiance. It's kind of nice.
So you do like the weather. I think the Bills are making their stadium. Their Bills stadium will have like an awning.
I think they should have open and closed roofs. I think they should. A roof should be
retractable.
Yeah, I think retractable roofs would be
a nice like down the middle thing. But again, that's what the Vikings had before, and theirs broke. Yeah, but then they have to deal with crazy weather that not other places have to deal with.
Yeah, I was about to say, didn't theirs break up like a heavy snowstorm?
Oh, it was insane. It was insane.
And like it just bursted through the roof.
Yeah.
And then covered the field. I remember the video of that.
Yeah.
Like it was a heavy. They're in Minnesota.
That's true.
This is Ohio.
The Bills get a bunch of snow, but the way they're building their stadium, it's still open. But there's like kind of like a soccer stadium. There's like an awning,
like
to where
the
all the fans are going to be covered, but the middle of the field will not be covered.
Dolphin Stadium.
Yeah,
the Dolphin Stadium's like that.
But the Dolphins have to deal with. Only half their stadium has the shade.
Yeah, it's the half with the. It's the home side.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Dolphins do that.
Yeah, the Dolphins. But again, they have a lot better weather.
They just don't want to deal with sun.
They get a lot of rain. In Miami, they get a lot of rain.
I don't fucking know.
It's humid down in Florida, man.
Half that city's underwater, dude.
It's hot and they get a lot of rain. That's what they do there. So I just think in general, again, if you're gonna keep making these people pay these exorbitant prices to get into games, you're battling with people on their couches. So if you're gonna want to get fans to make the effort to come to your stadiums and do all that,
gotta have a nice stadium.
Then you have to have a nice stadium, and you are going to be dealing with, hey, I don't want to be out there in negative, even though we're crazy people that decide to go, would we do that again?
Wait, but yes, that's the thing. Yes,
I think we would, but I think we're on the crazier spectrum of fans.
What gets that is a storied stadium.
Right.
Of that stadium is it's probably one of the older stadiums in the NFL.
Yeah,
but it's probably the best maintained. Those seats felt pretty good. They were comfortable. They were well-maintained seats, and it was a well-maintained
Oh, the stadium is not bad at all.
The stadium was very updated.
Yeah.
So you're like this. They're making avid. They're taking care of that stadium.
Uh-huh.
On the other hand, apparently Paycor is a shithole. It is not a great stadium.
Oh, the Bengals, yeah.
Sorry, it's Paycor Stadium.
Yeah.
Apparently it is not a great stadium.
Washington's as well. Like the Commanders, their stadium is absolute ass too.
True, but
and
they're
trying to build their stadium.
Owner was like,
no, for sure, he didn't give a shit.
The new one's like, yeah, this ain't going for.
Yeah, he didn't give a shit at all. No, you're
right.
But
again, the Bengals have had this problem for 3 years of, hey, your lease is up. You got 3 years to figure this out. Are we building a new stadium, and the city won't fund it because I'm so sure the city's like, we're so tired of your fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
What are we doing? He should have went and asked them for the lease right after the Super Bowl. He didn't ask until last year, and they were like, "Fuck no, y'all have been dog shit." Because like I heard that they're gonna go ask Kentucky if they will build a stadium for him. And my brain went. I sat there for a second. I was like, Paycor Stadium's in Kentucky.
No, it's literally right on the edge. It's like you cross the
bridge into Kentucky. Paycor's in Kentucky.
Oh.
So you just
I thought it was right before the bridge.
No,
You
it
just
is-
go by that stadium, and then
No,
you're
no,
going
no.
on the bridge.
You have to go
to
on the
cross.
bridge to get to the stadium.
Interesting.
So you're just gonna move to Lexington?
Yeah, like, well, I don't know.
Yeah. So apparently he's gonna go ask Kentucky if they'll build a stadium. Which
Okay, and if they build a stadium, would you want it to be domed or not? Like, what do you prefer if you had to choose one?
Trey Hendrickson, 3 years, $92 million. if you want to know.
I'm guessing you'd say domed. I just think that's where the NFL's going, man. That's where the NFL's going.
Without it being on the river, it's not as cool.
Yeah, I get it. You do lose a little bit of like the kind of getting the whole city and all of that if you're closing it up. Even though the way the Rams did theirs, the Rams and the Chargers,
The Charger Stadium.
there's so many windows. Like all of it seems
Charger
super open.
Stadium is like the Beijing Stadium
Yeah, it's insane
with how it's
so
built.
good. Yeah,
Of it's an indoor and outdoor stadium at the same time.
yeah,
because they have a huge dome that goes over, except for the little cutout for the field. And
Yeah.
like that's only you can do that in LA.
yeah. Exactly. You had the weather where you can pretty much make that
Yeah.
happen. Not a lot of stadiums can do that.
No,
But like
That-
if you
those,
can get something close to that,
those stadiums are architectural marvels.
yeah, for sure.
Like the Beijing Stadium. It
Yeah.
took somebody to sit down and really, really think about this.
Yeah.
You can't see any
and have the
structural-
crazy money to make it happen.
yeah, you
too.
can't see any of the structural supports.
Right.
It just looked like one uniform piece. That stuff's impressive. But I don't know. I liked the undomed stadium because it was snowing in Pittsburgh when we were
Yeah.
there, and it added so much more to the
It did.
game.
It did.
And I like a non-domed stadium. OSU stadium's also not domed, and I like that
No, for sure.
because you can, if you were anywhere near OSU during a game, swear to God, you can hear them.
Yeah, no doubt.
You can hear them, and I
Yeah.
don't live far from OSU, and I'm not excited for it because I know I'm gonna feel it.
I just think in general they're just battling with TV screens, and if you're gonna keep
It's hard to do that.
and you're battling with the prices and all of that. Like, and again, the idea of going to a Steelers game in the middle of December and not having to worry about freezing my ass off during the game isn't necessary. Don't mess with it. It's working.
Sorry, it's like
But yeah, just the idea of not having to freeze my ass off if I decide to go to a game in December or January, isn't necessarily the worst thought in my brain. Even though what you're saying about the weather and it adds to the ambiance and everything, I totally understand.
There's ambiance to it, man.
I totally get
don't
that.
know, man. No.
I just I get that that's what kind of where things are going, and it is what it is. I'm not necessarily going to be one of those guys to be like, ugh, NFL will never be the same, and I'm like, okay, fine, it is what it is.
It makes it more reasonable to want to go to a game.
Yeah,
I
for
can
sure.
think of it going to a game
Yeah.
in fucking December and not like I might die out there.
I just have to get to the game, and then once I get in
Yeah.
there, I could take my jacket off. It'll be nice.
There's times where I'm like, this may be my last trip ever.
No, for sure. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Other NFL stories before we get out of here. Cowboys. This is kind of a little closer to you. Cowboys waive Logan Wilson to save $6.5 million in cap space. It just kind of sucks. I'm like, he's a really good. He's a little bit of an aging player, but like he's not. But he's still a useful player. A little bit of an aging player. Oh, how old is he? He's like 29.
No, man, he's 27.
Is he really?
He was drafted the same year as Burrow.
Was he really?
Yeah, he's like 28, 27. You call T. Higgins aging?
It's a different position. You age a lot more gracefully at wide receiver than you do at like linebacker or defensive line.
It's Cap.
No, it's not Cap.
Mike Williams aged like milk.
Mike Williams was hurt from the start when he got into the NFL.
He was so talented.
But I'm saying when it comes to how hard the position is, like he's 29 by the way.
How old's T. Higgins?
T. Higgins, him and Joe Burrow got drafted the same year, so I think they're all 29.
No way T. Higgins got to 30.
T. Higgins age 27. He's 27. 27.
There's no way that boy's about to be
My bad.
30.
But I say he wouldn't be the same age as Burrow because Burrow was in college for 5 years.
Yeah, so probably red shirt.
Oh, Joe Burrow? T.
No, T.
Where did he play at? He played at Clemson. So he probably played his 3 years and got out.
No way.
He didn't play for 4 years at Clemson? He was like the last receiver at Clemson to like actually be good. Ever since then, Clemson hasn't produced another receiver.
Joe Burrow go to college?
Joe Burrow go to college?
When do you first get to OSU?
I think 2016. He was at OSU for 4 years.
You got the T. Higgins got to Clemson in 2017. He was at Clemson 4 years.
He got there 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2019, 2020. So 2016, 2017, that's 1. 2017, 2018, that's 2. 2018, 2019, that's 3. 2019, 2020, that's 1.
Okay, he was 4 years. Okay. But yeah, the Logan Wilson kind of sucks. But again, here's what I'll say. At least he can kind of pick a team. Maybe he'll be able to go to a more winning situation. That's the bright side of it. Did you hear about all of the moves that Miami is making?
No.
Miami Dolphins moves. So the transactions that Miami has currently made, they released Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
They released Nick Westbrook-Akine, and they released offensive lineman James Daniels. All three moves in one day. I think that saved him like $50 million in cap space.
A lot.
My question is, why in the hell haven't they released Tua yet? Because I feel like they already kind of made their intentions clear that they sat Tua last year that he was not going to start another game for them again. So now the question is with him, because he has, if they cut him and just eat his cap space right now, that he would, like a dead cap hit, he would cost them $90 million this year. Or they can cut him after June 1st, and they would split it up over 2 years, so they'd pay like $54 million in dead cap space this year, and then like 40-something million next year. Why haven't they done anything yet? Because nobody's going to trade for Tua because that contract is awful. And if you're going to be asked anyway, and because they had the draft that we have right now, sucking does mean that you're going to get the pick that you are bad enough to get. Why wouldn't you just drop him now and either take all the money now like the Denver Broncos did and take a 2 years worth of a hit when they dropped Russell Wilson, and go and build your team up from the bottom up, because they have to build it up anyway. Their team is pretty much like, is there really anybody that's safe? Because I think they're also looking for trade partners for Minka. So like, what players are safe on that roster? I think they're the running back.
Achane.
Yeah, Devon Achane. I think that's the only player that I would think that you have to keep on that roster. But my problem is with that is that you're now going to be wasting the prime years of his career. So are you just going to waste him for the next 3 years to try to just keep one good player, or trade him to a team that might need a running back that can be, that like is close to a winning situation and like give you some good draft picks for him? I think the Dolphins are closer to like trying to bottom out. So like, why would you keep Tua at all? Is my biggest question. And Tyreek Hill, because he's hurt, coming off the knee injury that he had, it was a gruesome one. And who knows whether he's going to be ready to play this upcoming year or anything. Like, he's probably not going to be able to start the year with whatever team he goes to. Where do you think he ends up being if you had to guess right now?
Probably trying to go back to Chiefs, if I'm being honest.
But here's the thing. The Chiefs, think about the Chiefs. Their team is pretty clean when it comes to characters, right? But all of the players that are a little bit of like, you know, have their issues, they're all in the wide receiver room. Think about Rashee Rice. He's now getting accused of domestic violence with his girlfriend for over the last year. And he's been dealing with stuff because he had the car crash and all that he took the 6-game suspension for last year. So, like, can you add Tyreek Hill? Even if Tyreek Hill's going to come at a supreme discount, maybe he's looking to, like, hey, I'm willing to come back to my home team, come back to my original team with Patrick Mahomes, try to go win a championship. But, like, even if he's at a supreme discount, would you want to add another crazy personality like that? And if you don't know what he's going to end up being after this gruesome knee injury, when he is more of a speed guy. Tyreek Hill, everything that he is based off his speed and his quickness and his acceleration. So, like, if you, let's just say he's 80-70% of what he was before his injury, he already wasn't close to 100% because he was an aging receiver anyway. So why would you add a little bit of a loose cannon in a way, because he's pretty much been a loose cannon off the field ever since he left the Chiefs? And heck, before he went to the Chiefs, that's why he was a 5th-round pick, was because he had issues in college. So, like, why would you add a personality like that to your team when you already have one that you're dealing with, Rashee Rice? I just don't think you can do that. Even if he does potentially give you the speed element you haven't had in your team in a while. Even though, actually, that's a lie. They have had speed, but the speed guys have had feet for hands. Tyreek Hill can at least catch the football. So I don't know. In general, I think the Dolphins I think they're going to be trying to suck as much as they possibly can for Arch next year in the draft. So I think they're going to be getting rid of everybody they possibly can and having a really bad season to try to build up through the draft that way. But the fact that they're getting rid of those 3 players all in one fell swoop just kind of like, wave the white flag on the season. That's upcoming as to what they're going to be doing here soon. Let's see. Are there any other things that I wanted to... I don't think I had anything else written down. Oh, the NFL. So which division would you like to do first? Okay, so let me give the thing for the listeners here. So over the next however many podcasts we do, we're going to go through every single division. We're going to give a letter grade or confidence. I'm not sure. Would you rather do confidence or a letter grade? Letter grade for how we feel like those teams should feel coming out of the season that they just played. And we're going to go through every division, talk about all the teams, and give each of them a letter grade as to what we think they are coming out of the season and where we think their future is headed. So which division would you like to do first? I would rather not do the Seahawks, the NFC West, because obviously there's one team we already know is A+ and all of that. So which division would you like to do first? NFC South. So that consists of Atlanta. That consists of New Orleans. That consists of Tampa Bay. And Carolina. And then... Okay. Let's start with Atlanta. What letter grade would you give them based off the season they just had? Would you give them a D?
D.
Why so?
Now have no quarterbacks.
Okay.
Your team is kind of on a downturn. You have all the offensive pieces with no offensive mind.
They do have an offensive mind. They do have Stefanski.
This is based off the season they just had, not the season they're going to have.
Okay, so you're not including the new head coach now.
You had a bad head coach who was not an offensive mind. You used your weapons were wasted for most of the year.
Bijan did great.
Wasted.
It was wasted because what? Yeah. Okay.
You had to use Kirk Cousins, which made Michael Penix even look like even more of a
Kirk
mistake.
Cousins actually looked good when he came back and played
that's
too.
That's what I'm saying. You use Kirk Cousins, which made Michael Penix look like even more of a mistake, which made your organization look worse.
Michael Penix was not playing good football before he got hurt.
Nope. So then you throw Kirk Cousins in there. He plays good football, which makes your decision to pay Kirk Cousins and then draft Michael Penix and then bench Kirk
look
Cousins
even worse.
Michael Penix. Now it looks even worse. D. Only because your offensive players still played so well.
And they also got good play out of Kyle Pitts.
They
enough. They finally got good play out of him, which is kind of crazy.
D.
I would give them a C-.
That's crazy. No, I can do minuses. D-.
Yeah. I thought you were going to D+.
No.
Because like you, I think quarterback, they're still an unknown, and they won't have Michael Penix going into next year, maybe halfway through the year, potentially, if that. So don't know what you're doing with that quarterback, even though
defense is abysmal.
The defense actually ain't bad.
Abysmal.
But you know what? Also doesn't help. One of their star pass rushers that they drafted had domestic violence issues, and he's probably going to jail.
Abysmal.
So I might have to go D, because now they spent 2 first-round picks on pass rushers, and now they're going to lose one of them because he's going to prison. So D+.
Abysmal.
So I'm going to give him a D+.
Which averages out to a D.
You know what's crazy? The crazy thing about it? Atlanta was one of the best, the 2 teams that were playing the best football.
At the end of the year. Yeah, it's crazy.
The Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints were both playing better football than the Tampa Bay and Carolina, the 2 teams that played for the division. Mm-hmm. Crazy.
All right, next team.
New Orleans.
C-.
Okay.
You kept all your players too long.
True.
You made no moves during the season to shop these players.
The older players that have been there for a while that are higher ticket items.
You are still in cap hell.
Why would they gave Alvin Kamara a choice of whether he wanted to stay there or not?
Because that's what you do to a franchise player. You give him the respect of let him make that decision for himself.
But this crazy spot that they're in was because they've held on to older players for too long and not gotten something for them.
He's still been good.
He has been good.
Which is why I personally, when they did that,
you respected it.
He is probably one of your franchise's best players, and you sat back. Hey, we're gonna give you the choice of what you want to do.
I'm thinking of
him. We're gonna
him.
let you choose.
The two best players on our team is him and the defensive end on their on the other side.
Cam Jordan.
Yeah, Cam Jordan.
And like
they should trade one of them. There's no way to just keep both of those players on that team.
But again, and that's why it's
because they're in cap hell, so you have to use a draft.
The fact of hey, these are our guys. They've been our guys for years.
You give them that respect.
Give them that respect.
I respect it at the time too. Yeah,
I understand, but that's why you get a C- for that. In my heart of hearts, I respect that. Good job. You did good by the players you drafted. They were franchise players for you. In all honesty, they've both been very good for you their entire careers. Mm-hmm. You give them the choice. They choose to stay. You keep them. You live with cap hell. But in a standpoint of
long term,
later, it does screw you.
You're
which is why you get a C-. You ended up lucking out where Shuck ended up being pretty good. He was 20-6. He has to be good. So you lucked out on that.
I think he might be better than good.
Who knows? Again, you played so much college football. You better be decent. So I'm gonna let you slide. I think a C- is fair enough because you're still in cap hell and you kept a lot of your old players.
Yeah.
But there's an upside, and your season was not as bad as it could have been. I didn't force you guys winning more than 5 games. You did that.
They definitely won more than 5. Didn't they win like 7 games?
And at the start of the year, we were foreseeing them winning like 4.
Right.
And most of them were against each other.
And we were both like, hey, is Tyler Shuck going to be any good? Why would they draft him?
We saw them winning 4, and 2 of them were against the Panthers. And they won more than that. So, bravo. Yeah. Both these teams did better than expected, and then the Falcons underperformed. And then made their decisions look worse than they already did.
And they can't help the fact they picked. They can't help the fact they picked a player that already had issues coming out of college, and they took the risk anyway.
Even worse.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna go C+. I think Tyler Shuck turned out to be a lot better than anybody ever thought he would end up being, and I think if he ends up going on this, let's just say he's Kirk Cousins plus.
Nope, that's looking towards the future.
No, I'm saying Tyler Shuck how he played last year.
That's all.
I just think the confidence coming off of last year. I think he can be a really good ad
for what last year was, or are you rating it for what is going to be next year?
I'm said what last year was. I think what last year was because they got a lot more out of Tyler Shuck. They possibly could have. Olave played a lot more games than they ever thought he was going to because everybody was thinking he might have retired because of all the concussions that he had the year before. So he ended up played a lot of games. Good that he was able to have the season that he had last year, and then. The old guys that they did play, they all played well. All of them are behind the city. They're not like asking out. They're not being like they want to be team
diligence. Even when the team's bad, they want to be team guys. And I understand you want to be paid for doing that. I got it. Cool. I respect your decision from a player standpoint. I don't like it from as a fan standpoint.
Yeah, for sure. Because like where are they going?
I kind of get it, but I would like to win. But hey, if we got to wait another 2 years to be bad and respect our guys through and through.
And I do like their coach that they hired before last season. I think he ended up being I'm forgetting his name. He was the former OC for the Cowboys.
Yes,
and Chargers.
Again, it's C- just mostly because of the cap space for me.
Okay, totally understand.
Without that, it's a B.
But I think the football on the field, New Orleans was just playing good football last year. At the end of last year,
without the cap, it's a B.
Yeah, for sure. Tampa Bay,
C-. God, it was underperforming after underperforming.
They lost the division.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going D.
Okay.
You if you're Tampa Bay, you're coming into the season. Literally, all the talk of the town.
Mike Thomas is hurt. What do you do? Mike Thomas is not hurt. My bad. Mike Evans is hurt. What do you do? Emeka Ibuka's gone for 3 weeks. What do you do?
Okay.
Chris Godwin's just dog shit. Bucky Evering's now hurt.
Uh-huh.
Tristan Wirfs is hurt.
Okay.
Vita Vea's hurt. Baker's hurt. I think a D is unfair for how many injuries they had.
Plus.
I still think it's unfair. I'd be cool with. I think a C- is fair because of all the injuries they had. They were so injured. They never had a full team week in, week out. When they got Mike Evans back, Emeka Ibuka was gone.
Mike Evans got hurt early on in the year,
Yes.
and they started the year with Emeka Ibuka,
He
pretty
was
much him by
fired.
himself, and he was
then
great.
Mike Evans came back, and Emeka Ibuka was hurt for 3 weeks.
Right.
So they never had a full
And then never
team.
was really healthy again the rest of the
No,
year.
and then they never had a full team on the field. Bucky Irving got hurt, and then Vita Vea was hurt for a few weeks, and then Tristan Wirfs was hurt for a few weeks, and then Baker was hurt, dealing with injuries all year. That's why I think a D. I was gonna go D. I was gonna do D+ as well. I thought it was too harsh because your team was so. They were probably one of the more injured teams in the NFL. They never had a full team any week, and their defense was already bad enough as is. It was
Their
not
defense
good.
was already ass. Like, their only
So-
person on the defense was good was Vita Vea.
And when he was dealing with nursing a couple injuries,
It went bad to worse.
So that's why I'm giving them a C- because I understand if with being healthy, you guys probably would have won the division. But that's it.
But again, they were looked coming into last year. They were looked at to be running away with the division, and they started the season 5-1 to start the year, and then you end the season the way you do in a dogfight with
And
Carolina
I understand
and lose.
because their team's not healthy. A good team with a good unhealthy team will always lose to a bad healthy team. Because at least all my starters are here compared to you have 7 to 8 backups on offense and defense. There's going to be mistakes made. There's going to be gaps made, which is why I'm okay with a C-. I think a D is a little harsh just because they were injured. They were so injured.
I'm just coming off the idea that they were so far ahead of all those other teams coming into the season, and now coming off, like, ending the season the way that you did. Even when you were healthy.
You have none of your players. They were never healthy.
By the end of the year, all their guys were playing.
Again, after how long of not playing?
Okay, I get what you're saying.
They didn't all play for so long that it was bound to happen. All their guys were Mike Evans was gone for like 8 weeks. He was just not there. So Emeka Ibuka was by himself. Cool. Mike Evans come back. Emeka Ibuka's hurt. And then Chris Godwin, face of the earth, gone. Literally does. He was healthy all year. Did nothing.
He got hurt too in the middle of the. He got hurt in the beginning of the part of the year. Came back.
Did it matter?
He came back before Mike Evans and played for a little bit.
Before that, he didn't do shit after that. And then Bucky Irving got hurt, which truly hurt their offense because they were running the ball because all the receivers were hurt.
He got hurt early and then came out like by the middle of the year, and then he was playing. He was slow and then kind of heated up by the end of the year.
But again, I don't know.
Okay, maybe I'll go. Maybe I was a little harsh.
I think it's
C-.
harsh when their team was so injured. Like San Fran's about to get like a B+.
Yeah, because they got injured in spite
of all
of that.
The injuries, you kept being good.
Yeah.
The Tampa Bay is just on the other side of that. The injuries really hurt you.
I just don't know if we could just blame injuries on the defensive side though. That defense was ass.
No.
Every sense of the word, it was ass.
But again, the year before last year, every game was a knockdown, drag out.
And they had an
fight.
older team, and this is what kind of what you ask for when you have an older team like they do.
They were clawing to the finish of every game the year before. So like, what would have changed this year? Would have been slightly better because now you just have a second receiver.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
So what? They would end the year with a B. Like it's just, I don't know.
Carolina.
I'm gonna go with A-.
You're A-.
An A-.
Oh. Again, they made the playoffs.
When we were going above or below 3 at the start of the year, the above or below was 2.5.
No, it was a little higher than that.
It wasn't. Fuck, it was not. It was 2.5.
I want to check that now because that one I want to make sure.
It was 3 games, dude. It was stupid low.
Preseason
maybe it was 3.5.
Over under.
But again,
NFL.
when everybody was like, "Yeah, this team may get to 4 games."
Let's see here. The over under for the Carolina Panthers 6.5.
Cap, that was not it.
That was the preseason over under.
Bullshit. Somebody was high. But again, how many games did they end up winning?
6.5. They ended up going 8-9.
That you overachieved. You drafted Tat McMillan. He ended up being very good.
The lowest over under before last season was New Orleans
Crazy.
at 4.5.
But again, you overachieved. Bryce Young ended up playing well. Your O-line was a little bit better. You drafted well. Tedero McMillan ended up being very, very
Tat
good.
McMillan was really good.
Very good pick. A couple of the other guys that you had drafted were pretty good. Your defense looked serviceable. I wouldn't say they were great, but week in, week out, they were anywhere from
In
that.
their 2 matchups with the Rams, they made the Rams look more human
They
than
made the Rams
anybody
work for it.
other
Yes.
than the Seahawks.
So I'd say that your team overachieved by so much.
Actually, the Rams played better against the Seahawks than they did against the
The
Carolina
Panthers,
in both
yes.
of those games.
Stafford went out there and threw, 4 interceptions to the Panthers?
The first time they played him, and the second time
Just
it took
shit the bed,
it took
dude.
the Rams to come back in the
Yeah.
playoff game to win that game.
So they were a hard out every game, and they played very well, and they all improved, and their defense was it improved so much that they're actually going to be able to retain players. J.C. Horn, a big one who everybody thought was leaving, is now more looking like he's going to stay with.
and
the
he's
Panthers.
actually like he can be that dude. Yeah,
And everybody kind of always knew he was talented enough.
yeah. It's like that translate.
But
Got to
it's-
translate.
I always assumed it translated. And
Yeah.
it was more of he was like, I'm just going to wait my 4 years out to get the fuck off the Panthers.
Right.
Because they've been trash for a long time.
Yeah.
And this year he looked rejuvenated and was playing like they were rejuvenated. So an A- just feels fair. I was thinking maybe a B+, but I just think they're deserving of an A for how far they overachieved. You were a playoff team. That's impressive. Now
At 8-9, which is insane.
which again, when
Should not have hosted
when
a
the year
playoff
before
game.
Bryce Young was totally abysmal to now everybody's gonna look at him like, hey, maybe there's something there. Maybe he can be good enough to where he can be a game manager to work something. But again, they overachieve so much that I'm talking myself into a B+. I'm talking myself into a B+.
Oh, but you could think about it. Well, I'll give you mine. I'm giving them a B. I'm giving them a B.
Yeah.
Because the way I look at it is, yes, did they overachieve well above what we thought? They're 6.5 games. They won 8 games, made the playoffs, hosted a playoff game. Yes, but can you feel super confident about what Bryce Young gave you?
Enough to where I can give him another year. Yeah.
But here's my thing: he's going into year 4. Yeah, going into year 4. And you're sitting here thinking, are we going to give him a year 5 and hope that he can turn into something? Or because, again, even last year, he wasn't consistent at all. He had a couple of games where he really exploded, but for the most, like, there were times he literally gave you the lowest of lows and the highest of highs. There was nothing in the middle at all. There was no game manager part of his game at all. He was either Superman or he was bottom of the dumps. Like, you're like, well, I don't know why this dude's even on the football field. So because of that, even though as a team you well outkicked your coverages of what everybody thought you were going to do coming into the season, I think the team took steps forward, but I don't think Bryce Young really took any. And I think now they're going to be like coming out of the season. I just don't know how you can really like feel super great about what happened when it comes to quarterback wise. But I think the quarterback ruins everything else. I just think the quarterback just brings down everything else.
Improved by a lot compared to the year before where he was just trash. I think it's a step in the right direction. And as the Panthers, I'm taking it.
But I just don't think it was enough for you to feel great about it, though.
You don't have to feel great about it. You just have to feel okay about it enough to where you feel like you can keep going.
So what are you changing their letter grade to? You going to a B or are you staying at A minus?
B+.
B+. But no, I Panthers well outdid what everybody thought they would. They made the playoffs. And Ted McMillan was great. He was awesome. And they got some better offensive play out of some of the guys around them, which does give me a little bit of confidence that their coach, Canales, I believe his name is, can actually do some things to make the offense look better, even if Bryce Young is not necessarily playing the most consistent football that they possibly need. So I'm going to go B. I think that coming out of this year, like, again, this is all like in context because 8 and 9 won the division. I don't think most years that 8 and 9 is going to win a division and host a playoff game, but in this division it did. And even though a little bit sucks kind of for the product of what the NFL playoffs was, I think in general the Carolina can't really be too negative about it, even if the quarterback play wasn't really consistent enough, at least in my opinion, for them to feel great. So, all right, those are all the grades for the NFC South. We'll be doing a different division next week, and that's about. I don't really have anything else to talk about here, so let's go ahead and end the pod here. If you've been listening for a while, we appreciate you. If you're just now jumping on, hopefully you like us and enjoy us enough to join us on this ride of talking about sports in the dumbest way possible. If you do like us and enjoy us, if you could do a couple things for us, we'd appreciate if you could. Like our podcast, subscribe to the podcast, rate the podcast 5 stars wherever you listen to us. We're pretty much available on all audio platforms out there, so it should not be very hard to find us wherever you listen to your podcast. Can you also share our podcast, friends, family, enemies, anybody you feel like could enjoy the podcast that we put out on a weekly basis, with it being once a week and then 2 times per week during like prime football season times when we'll do 2. And then last but not least, follow us on Twitter and or X, whatever you'd like to call it. At JB Sports Pod is the podcast handle. At Jovante Boozer is my handle. And at Jace Boozer1 is Jace's. And I'll hand it over to Jace. He can finish off the pod.
This has been the James Post Podcast. Thank you for listening today. Thank you for always listening. You have a nice day and a nice night. Goodbye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. See y'all next week.